Welcome back. It's Finance Friday, another special edition of Money Girl, where I answer your burning money questions. Today, we have a really great question. It comes from Nancy P., who says, I recently discovered your podcast and really enjoy it. I'm 60, single, have an annual income of $84,000, and I want to retire at age 63. I participate in my 401k, which has a $900,000 balance, and have a Roth IRA. Should I do annual Roth conversions up to the maximum annual amount, and how would that affect my taxes? Nancy, thank you so much for your kind words, and I really appreciate your question. You've done a great job saving, obviously, and you're getting really close to retirement, just a few years away. So knowing if or when you should do Roth conversions is an excellent topic, and we're going to cover it in this podcast. I'll review the Roth conversion rules, how they may fit your retirement goals, and tax consequences to carefully consider. Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for joining me. I'm Laura Adams, an award-winning author, finance spokesperson, money speaker, founder of the Money Stack newsletter, and host of this podcast, Money Girl, with 43 million downloads. Be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you automatically get each new episode. This is episode number 848, which means there's so much more Money Girl for you to explore in the archive. We have loads of previous episodes. They're just waiting for you. Be sure to follow my Instagram at Laura D. Adams and the Money Girl Facebook page. If you have a question you'd like me to cover on a Finance Friday show, I would love to hear it. You can leave it on our voicemail line at 302-364-0308. You can also send me an email using my contact page at lauradadams.com. And while you're there, go ahead and sign up for the free Money Stack newsletter. It is my weekly newsletter that's filled with money tips, tools, news, things that I'm enjoying, and also you'll get invitations to live educational events. All right, so let's talk about Roth conversions. What is a Roth conversion? Well, it simply means withdrawing and moving funds from a pre-tax source, such as a traditional IRA or a traditional 401k, and moving it to an after-tax Roth. Since traditional retirement funds typically have not been taxed, moving them to a Roth means you are going to owe ordinary income taxes in the year you make a conversion. So you may be thinking, well, why would I want to do that? Well, having more money in a Roth is terrific because the account growth is never taxed if you follow some very basic rules. And that allows you to have a source of tax-free income in retirement. In addition, unlike traditional retirement accounts, Roth funds are never subject to required minimum distributions or RMDs. Now, Nancy mentioned being restricted by an annual Roth conversion limit, but I want to clarify that there are no annual limits for Roth conversions, only for new contributions to an IRA. You can convert as much pre-tax money to a Roth annually as you like. Also, unlike Roth IRA contributions, Roth conversions have no income limit. So let's talk about the tax that you will pay on Roth conversions. As I mentioned, you can convert as much as you like from a traditional to a Roth retirement account each year, and the IRS will happily take your income taxes. For example, if you want to convert $50,000 from your traditional IRA to your Roth IRA, your annual taxable income increases by $50,000. That significantly increases your tax liability. Nancy mentioned that she's single with $84,000 of income. That puts her in the 22% tax bracket for 2024. Now, amounts over $100,525, that's at the point where they get taxed at 24%. That's the next highest tax bracket as of right now. Therefore, adding $50,000 of taxable income means that there's a portion of her income that will be taxed at 22% and a portion that will be taxed at the higher rate, the 24%. It's actually $33,475 of her income would be taxed at the 24% rate. But to avoid having a portion of her income taxed at a higher rate, Nancy could be strategic and only convert enough to stay in the lowest possible tax bracket. For instance, doing a maximum Roth conversion of $16,000 means her total income for the year would be $100,000. So it's her workplace income, the $84,000 plus the additional $16,000 from the Roth conversion would give her right at $100,000. And that would keep her below the $100,525 cutoff for the 22% tax bracket. So while doing a Roth conversion does mean you are voluntarily increasing your taxable income, the primary benefit is paying a lower tax rate now versus a potentially higher tax rate later. Or it's simply to create more tax-free growth so that you've got tax-free income in retirement. However, the downside is that you should have enough income or savings to pay that additional tax. While you can hold some funds back from a Roth conversion to cover your taxes, it's much, much better to use savings outside your retirement account. That allows you to put as much money as possible into your Roth so it grows tax-free. So for instance, let's say you're withdrawing $50,000, but you know you're going to have $10,000 of tax. You may withdraw $60,000 from that account, but that's really going to leave you with, much less to move over to the Roth. So you want to also remember that if you're younger than 59 and a half, and you can do Roth conversions at any age, but if you are younger than 59 and a half, holding back a retirement withdrawal to pay taxes on a Roth conversion means that that portion would be subject to a 10% early withdrawal penalty. So since Roth conversions increase your taxable income, the best time to do them is in any year your income dips, anytime it goes down. Many people do conversions in the so-called gap years after they retire and they're earning less, but before they claim Social Security benefits or before they start taking required minimum distributions at age 72 or 73. Remember that you can claim Social Security as early as 62, but you can also claim your full retirement age, which depends on your birth date. It's either 66 or 67, and you can claim it as late as age 70. Nancy didn't mention when she wants to begin her retirement benefits, but she did say that she wants to retire at 63. So let's just say she plans to start Social Security at her full retirement age of 67. In that case, her income will go down significantly at age 63 when she stops working. Even if she wants to work part-time for a year or two to kind of kick off her retirement, she'll likely earn less than she does today. Therefore, from age 63 to 73, that's the time when she's going to have the most control over the amount and the source of her income, making it the perfect time for Roth conversions. And the earlier, the better. Right now, Nancy is likely at the peak of her career. So adding additional Roth conversion income to her earned income means it could result in the highest tax she's ever paid. So instead of converting now, Nancy, when you already have significant income, waiting until after retirement when your wages are lower or maybe even zero is likely best. So here are some scenarios when converting funds in a traditional retirement account to a Roth could be wise. One scenario is you believe your tax rate is lower now than it will be in retirement. If you've got to pay tax on the money eventually, why wouldn't you want to pay it now at a lower rate than waiting and paying a higher rate later on? It could be wise if you want to leave tax-free money to your heirs. Since Roth IRAs have no required minimum distributions, you can take as much or as little out of that account as you like. If you never want to touch it, you can do that as well and just leave it there to grow for your heirs, and then they'll have tax-free income. It may be wise if you have most or all of your retirement funds in tax-deferred accounts, so in those traditional accounts. So if you have all your money in traditional accounts, that means the income that you take in retirement will be taxable. It will be taxed at your ordinary income tax rate. So for a lot of people, they want to have a diversified portfolio when it comes to their taxes. They want to have some money in tax-deferred accounts, but they also want to have money in tax-free accounts, giving you the most flexibility. It might be wise if you have lower wages or business income. As I mentioned, in those years, that's when it makes the most sense to add the additional income from a Roth conversion onto your taxable income stack. It may be wise if you have retired, but you don't yet receive Social Security or you don't yet have required minimum distributions as income. And it may be wise if you have enough savings or funds in a brokerage account to pay the conversion taxes. As I mentioned, taking that money out of the retirement account, it's possible, but it's not ideal. If you decide that a Roth conversion is right for you, remember that you can do multiple conversions over several years to limit the negative tax consequences. So the idea is to convert just enough to stay under the next highest tax bracket. For 2024, income of $190,000 is the top of the 24% bracket for singles. So let's say if Nancy wanted to make Roth conversions that total $450,000, she could break it into 3 conversions of $150,000 annually. And she could do it when she's 64, 65, and 66. Those are the years when her income is likely to drop, but before her full Social Security retirement age. Another strategy Nancy may have to get more money in a Roth is called a mega backdoor Roth conversion. Now, I did a whole podcast on this strategy in Money Girl episode 835. So if you missed it, be sure to go back and take a listen. In short, doing a mega backdoor requires you to make after-tax contributions to a 401k and then convert them to your Roth 401k or to a Roth IRA. However, it depends on what your workplace retirement plan allows. Not every 401k has a Roth, and not every 401k gives participants the option to make rollovers either inside or outside your plan. The bottom line is that everyone's situation is different and everyone's retirement plan is a little different. So you should seek guidance from your benefits department or a financial advisor because you cannot reverse Roth conversions if you change your mind later. And plus, as I mentioned, it's wise to have enough cash on hand to pay your federal and any applicable state taxes on a Roth conversion instead of using money from your retirement account. So definitely get advice. Doing a Roth conversion is, kind of an advanced strategy. And it's something that will take a little bit of planning to make sure that you're not converting too much in any given year. So you want to work with a financial advisor, even a CPA, for guidance on this. Nancy, thanks so much for your question. I hope this show has been helpful. If anybody else out there has questions about doing Roth conversions, I would love to hear them. Be sure to follow Money Girl on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, here's to living a richer life. Money Girl is a quick and dirty tips podcast, and I want to thank our fantastic team. Steve Rickeberg audio engineers the show. Our director of podcast is Brandon Gachus. Our digital operations specialist is Holly Hutchins. Our advertising operations specialist is Morgan Christensen. And our marketing and publicity associate is Davina Tomlin.